We keep saying this word controversial, Rachel, with your methods, but for you, you're saying they're not controversial. It's actually the old traditional method.
It is really. I don't know why it's so controversial.
Well, it's controversial because I'll tell you why. Nowadays, no matter what it is in society, the view is you should do what you want. You can't be told what to do.
Exactly. I think that's right. And if it works and you want to do it and it's lovely and it's all fine, but actually lots of the time it doesn't work because actually babies don't sleep and mums and dads are tired.
And everyone's tearing their hair out.
And the family goes into meltdown.
I said they're your words, not mine. Yes. And they are quite controversial.
Yes, they are.
Modern mothers have lost the plot, and we're raising these little demigods.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I think the fact of the matter is that when a baby comes into a home, often, I'm just generalising here because it's not the same with everybody, but I think often the whole family, everybody falls around the baby rather than the baby fitting into home life, which is what used to happen. But I think now it's everything's about the baby and the child. So this little person's, well, not even it's in needs, that's really not the right word, but actually, you know, mum's there to do everything and pick it up all the time.
But a lot of people watching would say, but that's what it is about. Everything does become about that baby and their needs because you're there to provide
it
for their
does.
needs.
And babies need to be nurtured and loved and cared for, and I'm the first one to say that. But there is a time and a place, and it's important that parents have time together because if baby becomes a kingpin, then often what I find is that dad's out of the marital bed and mum's in the bed with baby, and actually dad's a bit fed up.
So that's co-sleeping, isn't
it?
A lot
is.
of people do that now. So let's talk about co-sleeping. You don't agree with that?
Well, no. I mean, I certainly wouldn't give that advice. But I mean, if there are people out there who do it and are happy with it, and that's fine. I'm not going to say, right, you mustn't do this. But
are your methods? I mean, I did Gina Ford when I had Jack, who's 15 now, and there were similar criticisms that you've had, and they, to me, they seemed quite traditional methods. So it's about getting a baby into a sleep routine.
But the big worry was always, you know, leaving the child crying. But I do have to say to people, we never had to do that because our child never cried because of the system.
You really didn't cry.
I mean, I think that's exactly it. That actually, as long as newborn babies and babies are fed well, that's the trick. That's the key to all of it. A baby with a hungry tummy will not sleep. So the most important thing is that baby's fed well, whether baby's breastfed or bottle fed. That baby has a full tummy.
And what about, let's ask you about breastfeeding. You know, a lot of people have very strong views about breastfeeding and they say, oh, breast is best and not formula and always try and breastfeed. What do you think about that?
Formula's looked upon as poison today. But breastfeeding is great if you can do it and wonderful. But actually, if you can't, babies do just as well on the bottle. I should be shot down in flames for saying that. But my experience over years and years of working with families is that if a mother's struggling to breastfeed and feeling emotionally all over the place, absolutely exhausted, and her milk hasn't come through, and you know, not everybody can breastfeed.
It's interesting though when you say, oh, I'll be shot down for this. And I found that when I was doing Gina Ford, The Contented Baby, that people shot you down. They were very vehement in their opinions. And yet I didn't feel that the other way round. So I remember doing an interview with somebody about it's attachment parenting where they carry their baby all the time in a sling. And this lady was getting very cross with me, and I said, why are you so angry? Because I'm not angry that you want to carry your baby around all day. Wouldn't be for me, but I'm not cross. Why do you think people get so
why it is,
cross?
love, is because if people feel there's any distress caused to the child, then they have to blame the person who's causing
the controlled
distress.
crying, I think, or leaving your... Tell us about that, leaving your baby to settle itself.
Yes, it's really important. Now there's been a report just recently by doctors to say actually that babies who are fed well and left to self-settle are much better sleepers. Well, we've been banging on about that for years, and we know that.
Even as an adult, I feed well, and I sleep much better after it.
You do, don't you?
I do.
Straight to sleep.
Straight to
You
sleep.
literally do. I was saying to him, you're like a baby, feed him and he's gone. So self-settling, is that something you believe that babies naturally do then? So a certain amount of whimpering and crying is not uncruel to a baby?
No, it's not, and it's not uncommon. Actually, it is a part of the way that babies go to sleep, making a little bit of a noise and and maybe a bit of a bigger noise. But actually, if you watch them and their little eyes are closed and you've swaddled them and you've tucked them down, they've had a good feed, and just leave them to settle, and you'll often find after 10 minutes, you know, they've gone to sleep.
Can I ask you about swaddling babies? Because again, some people aren't sure about this. I think the current NHS guidelines are that babies should sleep on their backs, and I think you sometimes do put babies on their side.
I've always put babies on their side.
On their side, swaddled. Explain to me, if people don't know what swaddling is.
OK, swaddling is having a blanket, and when it's warm, the weather's hot, you want to have something thin, and you have it in a sort of V shape. Put baby in the middle, baby on its side, and wrap baby up. And I always make sure the baby has one hand so that he can suck his fingers or his thumb, and then the other arm down. So he's really
So
nice.
what is the thinking behind swaddling? What's
Is
it
actually
doing?
to make them feel really secure. It's a bit like being back in the womb again, isn't it? You know, all nice and sort of secure, and tuck them on their sides, put a little roll at their back and tuck them into their cot. And really, they sleep so well.
Do you believe that helps them
Yeah,
sleep?
I do.